Well, Tulsa's. I mean, I'm not in their building. I don't pretend to say I know what they're going through. But when you have as many suspensions as they do, it's going to greatly affect your team. Okay, I mean, you'd have to ask coach, but I'm sure they don't just feel like they can run two groups out on both sides of the ball and feel comfortable with their experience and ability to compete at a high level. I don't have that luxury here. So when they lose as many players as they do, it's going to directly impact your team. Okay, and as we just talked about, the general fans and population and public, they don't like that, but they don't really know how much that affects your team, which is a bunch. Okay, and I'm guessing these guys are back now. And they got out there, and things just kind of didn't go good. And UC Davis played pretty good. Their quarterback's a good little operator, made good plays, put the ball on. They had a good plan, and just kind of hung in there and ended up winning the game. Sometimes that can happen.
When preparing against them, how much do you look at that film from Thursday because they had so many guys out versus how much you maybe just look at last year's?
It's one game, so you look at it. That's all you have to base it on this year. But they're going to be who they are. He believes in his style of offense, and obviously they believe in their style of defense. That's what they do. So they know what we do, and we know what they do. But you're going to get personnel off that tape because that's the only tape we have from this year.
You've talked a lot about super seniors for yourself, but they have probably double the amount of super seniors. Is it different preparing for a team with that much?
I mean, not preparation. I just think it's an advantage. I mean, again, I use the advantage. I told you the other day, I gave you 4 guys that were thinking about returning to us. And if those guys would have returned to us, you certainly upgrade your talent level. So they've got a number of them, and it's an advantage when you have those guys, no question.
Like you had Tulsa last year. Spencer got hurt early, becomes down to the wire game, 16-7. Did you come away from that game knowing, hey, this is actually a pretty good team we played, and they ended up having an excellent season? Did you know that? And so, or do you have to learn about what the opposition does later in the season?
My honest opinion was, as I told the guys the next morning, I said, Tulsa's a good football team. I didn't know that they were that good based on they went on and had a good run. They came back, won a bunch of games, had Cincinnati beat. The next week or two, Cincinnati had Georgia beat, right? So, I mean, you can say what you want, but you got to be pretty decent to be in that position. That was on the road. In a rainstorm, I think, and then played an SEC team in the bowl game and could have won the bowl game. So they were, when we finished playing them, we made some mistakes. Obviously, we had some things happen injury-wise and whatever. It is what it is. But I told the staff, in my opinion, they're a good football team. These guys are a good football team. And Coach Montgomery he doesn't get out of his box. He does a good job in the world that he lives in, and that's what they do. And in my opinion, they're good at it, and it allows them to get better as the season goes on. So they ended up being much more effective and better than what I thought, but I knew they were a good team. I just didn't – it would have been hard for me to say they were going to win. After they played us, would they win 8 games, something like that? I mean, I don't know if they – 6 in a row. Right. So and they only played one more after that, 7, right? The bowl game. So if you would have said, okay, they're going to win 6 of their next 7, I don't know if I would have said I agree with that, but I said they're a good football team.